Eesti mehed on pidanud sõtta minema Eesti vabaduse eest või kaitsta Eesti rahvast teises maailmasõjas, vabadussõjas, Jüriöö mässul ja Lembituga orurüütlite vastu. Me peame alati nende ohverdust ja nende sangarlikku tööd meeles pidama.
Sõbrad, kes me täna oleme kogunenud siia Toronto peaväljakule. Me võime öelda, et mitte ainult Eesti, vaid terve maailm on täna sinimustvalges lipuehtes. Küllap paljud meist on mõni tund tagasi alles elanud läbi seda, mis kodus toimus, lipu heiskamine, pärgad asetamine Vabaduse risti juurde, paraad, jumalateenistus ja maailm muutub järjest väiksemaks. Ja nüüd me oleme juba siin. Me võime tõesti ütelda, et me oleme Eesti e-riigi kodanikud, ühtsed terves maailmas. Lähtugem siis ikka sellest, mida meile kinnitab see meie riigi põhisõnum. Eesti, sa seisad lootusrikka tuleviku lävel, kus sa vabalt ja iseseisvalt oma saatust võid määrata ja juhtida. Asu ehitama oma kodu, kus kord ja õigus valitseks, et olla vääriliseks liikmeks kultuurrahvaste peres. Kõik kodumaa pojad ja tütred, ühinegem kui üks mees kodumaa ehitamise pühas töös. Meie esivanemate higi ja veri, mis selle maa eest valatud, nõuab seda. Meie järeltulevad põlved kohustavad meid selleks. Sulle Jumal valvaku ja võtku rohkest õnnista mis iial ette võtad sa, mu kallis isamaa. Elagu iseseisev demokraatline Eesti Vabariik. Elagu rahvaste rahu.
The Tartu Peace Treaty that was signed by Russia's Bolshevik government renouncing in perpetuity all of Russia's claims to Estonian territory would not guarantee independence. After Hitler and Stalin signed a pact that coordinated the start of the Second World War, Soviet and then Nazi forces would crush Estonia's growing, independent, liberal democracy, repressing our cultural and political sovereignty in wave after wave of arrests, deportations, and terror. Nearly 100,000 fled the country in 1944, abandoning homes and tearing apart families. Thousands came to Canada, where so many of you here today built new lives and a new community. The stability of life in Canada allowed you to build new organizations, schools, camps, newspapers, and institutions that continue today to allow us to maintain our culture, language, and heritage in this diverse and progressive country, Canada. Just as we're thankful to this country and our fellow Canadians for allowing us to maintain our Estonian identity, we're also proud of the contributions Estonians have made to the building of this great nation. Friends, the strength of our Estonian community lies not in any concrete, steel, glass, bricks, or mortar. Our history, identity, and language, the cultural heritage that we give to our future generations, depends on the sacrifices of volunteers who fill our community halls with Estonian learning and activity. It is through that activity that we build and strengthen the bonds that connect us as Estonians and as Canadians. It is the mother who sacrifices her Saturday mornings to teach Estonian language to the nursery school kids. It is the uncle who every summer helps out at our Estonian summer camps. It is the older sister who drives the scouts up to Muskoka for a weekend of outdoor learning. It is the father who brings together community members to sing at weekly choir practices. And it is the grandmothers who collect our ethnocultural history to foster a sense of pride in our heritage right here in Canada. All of you who are celebrating Estonian independence and our heritage in Canada, you are our strength. Look around you, share your pride, thank everyone around you. Without you and without them, there would be no Estonian heritage or community in this country. The physical structures that contain our activities in Toronto and Canada, they'll wear with time, but not our community. We cannot allow that. We must remain proud of our Estonian identity and heritage for generations to come, and we must remain together. Let us not forget the words of our forefathers enshrined in the Independence Manifesto for the people of Estonia. Sons and daughters of our homeland, unite as one in the sacred task of building our nation. The sweat and blood shed by our ancestors for this country demand this from us. Our forthcoming generations require us to do this. Friends, we are so much stronger together. Elagu Eesti Vabariik, elagu Eesti rahvas, elagu Eesti kogukond Kanadas ja üle maailma. Head vabariigi aastapäeva. We also honor our friends who support us in doing this. I would like to thank the members of the Estonian Central Council Awards Committee, Ellen Leivat, Annelies Keelman, and Marta Kivik, for their work on the nomination process for these awards. Among this year's recipients was a cherished member and a cultural giant in our community, Maestro Charles Kirkman. I now ask that the following 2018 Estonian Central Council Medal of Honor recipients please join us here to receive their medals. And I'll call everyone up, and as you're coming up, I'll just continue going through the list of our recipients. First, Senator Raynell Anderchuk, Senator for Saskatchewan. Senator Anderchuk has served as Canadian High Commissioner and Ambassador to a number of foreign nations and served on the United Nations Human Rights Commission. Called to the Senate in 1993, Senator Anderchuk became the first female senator to represent the province of Saskatchewan and has since played an integral role in establishing the Standing Committee on Human Rights and is a member of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. The Estonian community in Canada is thankful for the open door, Senator Anderchuk, that you've always offered for our community and specifically for organizing and hosting countless Baltic nights on Parliament Hill. Most recently, the Senator took a lead in introducing the unanimously passing Canada's Global Human Rights Magnitsky Law this past October. Mr. Andris Kesteris is the President of the Latvian Federation of Canada, the Baltic Federation, the Central and Eastern European Council of Canada. We recognize Andris Kesteris for his decades-long commitment to advancing Baltic issues and as a great friend of the Estonian community in Canada. Thank you, Mr. Kesteris. Ms. Joanna Kuras is the former president of the Lithuanian community in Canada and the Baltic Federation. The Estonian community in Canada thanks Ms. Kuras for her dedication, friendship, and advocacy work on our behalf over the years. Thank you, Ms. Kuras. Ms. Kairi Hemingway is a longtime community volunteer with the Estonian Guiding Movement, St. Peter's Lutheran Church, and the Estonian Relief Committee. She is also a key board member, a huge key board member on the Estonian Central Council in Canada. Ms. Hemingway, your community thanks you for everything that you do and have done and continue to do for our community to help sustain it, grow it, and to maintain our heritage here in Canada. Thank you. And Mr. Jan Cruz. Mr. Cruz, if you are here, please come up. Mr. Cruz is a committed community volunteer who's given his time to the Estonian Canadian Scouting movement. He was also my scout leader. But most importantly, he has also helped document thousands of Canadian Estonian oral histories over the past 2 decades, creating one of the largest collections of its kind anywhere. Thank you, Jan. I don't know. How do I do this? I was hoping I have those here. I don't pass this. Thank you. Usually I would have Kairi helping me with this. I'd like to now ask Senator Anderchuk to say a few words.
Honored guests, honored award recipients, my colleagues, and friends of the Estonian community and the Estonian community itself. Somehow I think the community of Estonia here in Canada has enlarged. Some of us are not acknowledged to be of Estonian descent, but I think we try very hard to be that. We very much pride what you do, and we would like to be here in greater numbers to honor this very, very important 100th anniversary of the independence of Estonia. I'm deeply honored to have received this award from a community, as I have said, that I very much inside. I think they did that because they know politicians can go on and on. And being as cold as it is, I was reminded by Marcus, please make it short, so I'm going to do that. But I really would like someday to give a longer acknowledgement of your work and contribution to Canada, the opportunity for being here and witnessing your commitment to Canada and the 100th anniversary for the continued independence of Estonia. The Estonian community in Canada has been persistent, resilient, and committed to the contributions in Canada as well as in Estonia. It has been steadfast and active in regarding the independence of Estonia and its continued development. I was very honored to know about Estonia very early in my political days as a political science student. In fact, it was part of our curriculum in Saskatchewan, and I think I was privileged to know about your history then. I was then privileged to meet many of you in Geneva as the Human Rights Commissioner, ambassador from Canada, working on the eventual independence of the Baltic federations. I was privileged to be in NATO, working on the ascension of Estonia to NATO and its continued protection. And I have more recently been involved with parliamentarians and government leaders in Estonia on cyberspace. Estonia seems to be at the vanguard of issues, identifying the freedoms that we must protect. And you do it in Canada and you do it overseas. And lately, your support for the Magnitsky Bill to understand that gross violations by individuals cannot go unnoticed has been steadfast. I want to especially point out that Marcus Kolga probably was one of my best supporters. In fact, I think he was the initiator of so many of the things that I could do to move the Magnitsky Bill ahead. It took 2 years. I don't think I could have done it without his constant support and reassurance that he was not speaking for himself, but for a broader community. And so I thank all of you. And lastly, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for caring about Canada. Thank you for maintaining your heritage. In fact, it is now a Canadian heritage. We very much, as Canadians, appreciate each other's culture and heritage. We need to know more about each other. We need to support each other and make this country, Canada, what we believe it can be, should be, and we need to continue to protect our freedoms here as well as in Estonia. May God bless all of you, and may I continue to have the privilege to work with you.
Yeah.